I'm Shay Russell from mining.com.au, and joining me today is Rauno Perttu, the CEO of Provenance Gold. Rauno, it's great to see you. How are you?
Great to be here, and thank you. We are very happy to be here.
It is a great time to be in gold, and I'm very excited to talk about your project because it's not in the location that I thought it was going to be. Can you please talk us through a couple of Provenance Gold's projects?
Yeah, we actually have two primary projects. One of them is in Nevada. It's called the White Rock, and it's a typical Nevada large disseminated gold system in a new part of Nevada, way up in the northeast corner. And I think it's going to grow into something special. Our main project right now is in Oregon, and it's in a place in eastern Oregon in Malheur County that is sagebrush desert, very similar to Nevada. If you put a blindfold on and went from one to the other, you wouldn't recognize the difference. The same type of everything. Uh, our Eldorado Project is a very special opportunity for a junior simply because nobody, including myself, would ever have thought of taking on a project in Oregon. And I'm an Oregon resident, an Oregon registered engineering geologist, because it had the terrible reputation, similar to some of our surrounding states, that you can't do mining here. Well, one day I got a call from a regulator who I'd helped out in the past, who worked as a specialist in Eastern Oregon permitting, and he said, "You've got to be here. It's changed." A long story short, I talked to the key people in the regulatory agency, Dogami, the state geologist who runs Dogami, and they confirmed that the climate in Oregon has changed dramatically and is continuing to improve. We are lucky enough to be basically the second company to take advantage of this opening up of Eastern Oregon, and that gave us the opportunity. We got the project from a company, Gold Royalty Corporation, whose geologist is a longtime geologist friend of mine, and he was going to pass it to a major. We looked at the data, and I said, "I want it." and we got it. And I am very glad we did get it. It's a project that has a lot of historical work done on it, basically in the 1980s and through early 1990s. And two companies, Billiton and ICANN, drilled 241 drill holes on it. They blocked out a resource that ICANN pegged at 2 million ounces pre 43101, non-compliant, completely open-ended. And we located those holes. We loved the project from that historical data. We came in and we drilled in 23 our first 11 reverse circulation holes to start confirming that historical amount of gold. And what we found was that we were not only confirming that historical amount of gold, we were getting better grades, and we were finding mineralization that went much deeper than had been projected in the old days. And the footprint of the gold system is much larger on all 3 points. So that got us really excited. We had in our reverse circulation program a couple of holes that really stood out. They were thick intervals of plus 3 grams starting at surface. So we had to know, well, what are we dealing with here? We came back in and we drilled a core hole last year that cross-cut at perpendicular to the structural grain, this zone, and we had 175 meters of plus 3 grams. And that was within 288 meters of plus 2 grams. We came out, we think, on the north side of this system rather than to the bottom of the system. So that was something special. We followed that up with detailed mapping, geophysics, a bunch of stuff. And we have now identified that the gold system is in a northeast trending fat structural zone that our leapfrog modeling has shown is between 85 and 100 meters thick in true thickness. And not only that, we've recognized 3 other zones, the second of which is actually on the surface, the strongest zone, that need to be explored. So Well, a very short story on a long bunch of work. What we have now is a project that we have a total of 255 holes in. It is completely open-ended. We have done detailed geology. We're doing detailed geophysics because we've recognized that one of the geophysics tools will help us locate high-grade zones. Our surface mapping and geophysics have identified and confirmed our surface mapped major northeast trending structural zones, all three of them, and also hinted at some other targets on the property. So we have a program right now at this stage, I'm making this very short, where we are doing a bunch of drill holes this year, starting in March, to do reverse circulation drilling to not only expand this discovery area, to keep filling in and expanding that 2 million ounce estimate from before, but also to identify these other zones. That we have a system that has grown way beyond the original footprint of this gold system, and it is completely open yet. So it's going to be an exciting time. We're going to start an extensive drilling program, first with the reverse circulation, and then when we have enough control from the reverse circulation, we're coming in for core holes to do the detail work in those areas. And that's a quick summary right there.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, when a geologist is excited about a gold project, you know there's going to be something special to be found. Now, you've just given us an awesome recap of the work done to date, Rauno, and you alluded to future work. Could I get you to just briefly mention what we could look forward to see from Provenance Gold in the next couple of months?
We are, first of all, working right now. One of the funny things on this is desert. It rarely gets any kind of adverse weather, but we had a very snowy February, and we're waiting for the snow to get off the ground, which should be happening in the next couple of weeks. We are doing a detailed geophysics to follow up on our modeling that shows that we can look at intermediate mag geophysics to identify the highest grade gold areas. We are doing a major program starting on our known mineralization, going out and testing some of these new areas that on the surface look really fat and juicy. And so our program is to grow this project dramatically to get a much better control for our leapfrog modeler on the detailed structure and follow that structure. So it's going to be a very special year on a lot of fronts. We're going to start having regular news on our drilling results as we progress, and that drilling program could go on continuously for the next 2 or 3 years.
Now, obviously, a project like this comes with historic data. Tell me, what does that data look like? But also, too, how do you step it out from here?
It was rotary drilling back in the 80s and 90s, and we have very few records other than the assays of what they hit. There were only a couple of core holes, and we have the records on one of them. And that historic data suggested continuous gold mineralization over an area that is bigger than a square kilometer and open-ended right now. The structural patterns we're imposing on it are really impressive because we've identified new high-grade zones, but in between them, the areas that we were wondering what's there are turning out to have Nevada-grade open pit, half-gram type mineralization. The metallurgy on this stuff is excellent, so we shall not have a problem on that front.
Listen, Rauno, this is certainly a super exciting project, and I'm thrilled to see the emergence of a new mining state within the US. Listen, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you.